So welcome back to obviously Fight Talk. I'm delighted to say we are joined by Saul the Hangman Rogers. This man has a professional fight record of 11 wins with just one defeat. He is making his ACB debut on the 1st of October versus Michel Adalena. Am I saying that right, Saul? And welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think you're saying it right. I can't pronounce it myself either, so I've tried not to say it best I can, but yeah, I think you say it better than me.
So yeah, this is a big event. ACB coming to Scotland. This is probably their biggest mainland Europe show anyway. So I'm sure it's a great honour to be a part of this card.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know too much about ACB until they started signing all their high level guys. They got Wilkinson and Whiteford and Norman Park and all that other kind of stuff, and it made me sit back and take notice. I had a look into the show, and as soon as they wanted me to fight, I was more than happy to kind of join that big organisation.
Yeah, you did talk about in one of your interviews after your last fight, when you got that big win, that you were kind of selective about the opponents that you were accepting, I suppose, because you know you have a big name on the scene, and obviously the UFC is in your sights. But was the actual show itself one of the reasons why you accepted the opponent for this show? Not just the opponent itself, was the show, you know, a package as well?
No, Michael, if I'm honest, it's not the fighter I wanted. I only signed with ACB maybe 4 weeks ago, so he was willing to take the fight on maybe 3.5 weeks notice or whatever he's took the fight on. So I'm more than happy to kind of get in there. At least I'm fighting, but no, I didn't go out looking to fight Michael. I had my sights set on a few different guys, a few guys who I thought if I would have beat, then people have got to take notice, especially the guys who've got the title at lightweight or featherweight. But it is what it is. He took the fight. I'm more than happy to fight him, so I'll get this one out of the way, and then I can see who they give me next.
Would it have been the likes of the Norman Parks and the Whitefords that you'd be looking at, or the I suppose Maguire would be another one?
Yeah, all of them. I fought Maguire a couple of years back anyway, so that's not really a fight I'm too interested in. A fight with Park could be good. He's high level again. He's just come out of the UFC, and they're the kind of guys I think are good fights for me. Like I said before I fought Andre Winner and all that other kind of stuff, I get offered, not being disrespectful, but the low level guys and the lower level guys sometimes, and in my eyes I just see that more as a risk, because if you beat a lower level guy and then everyone's like, well, you should have beat him anyway, and then if you don't beat a lower level guy, then it's like, well, do you know what I mean? You can't be that good because you're expected to beat them guys. So if they offer me the high level guys like Park, Whiteford, Maguire, all the big names, I think they're more of the fights I'd be looking at taking. But I've got my eyes on either the featherweight belt or the lightweight belt, so I'm more than happy to fight anyone that's going to get me closer to that, really.
And again, just to go back a little bit, like a lot of people obviously here, and both here in the UK, you'll be very familiar with you in the MMA circuit, but to the worldwide stage, you obviously took part in Tough Season 22, and you went undefeated in the house. You had 4 fights, you had 4 victories, so everyone again just thought it was a natural progression for the UFC. I know there was obviously issues with visa. You were due to fight Artem Lobov with the visa, but just from that experience itself, do you almost feel like, why aren't they knocking on my door now? You know what I mean? Like, it's landed on your doorstep now, essentially this Monday. In a couple of weeks' time, it's landed in Manchester. Are you like, why am I on this card? Because let's be honest, like, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You're the number one guy in the UK and European at this stage. So it's a weird that, you know, it's good that you're getting this fight in ACB. It's almost to hammer home the great performance you had against Andre Winner. But is it just for you? Does it leave you scratching your head, almost to say, to be blunt, what the fuck do I have to do to get on this card?
Yeah, you know what? When obviously everything what happened with Tough and the visas and all that other kind of stuff, it was kind of frustrating. I had some of my own personal issues going on as well, so that's why I took the best part of a year off from fighting, not training though. I'll say that now. I was still in the gym every single day, grinding with my teammates, but I just thought my mindset at that time wasn't kind of 100% to fight. And then when it was, I was kind of sitting waiting about. Yeah, maybe the UFC will kind of call me up for this one. Might get a last minute one for this, or maybe for this one. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm inactive. I can't live my life like this. Me personally, I know my worth. I know the level I'm at. So it was just time for me to kind of, instead of taking a fight here and here and here, just sign with an organisation, and then whatever happens then happens. But as of now, ACB have looked after me, you know. I've got my eye on the ACB title. So if the UFC want to come and get me when I'm the ACB lightweight or featherweight champ, then all well and good. But I'm not going to cry if it doesn't happen. I'm just going to keep beating people up.
And again, just to bring it back to your opponent there as well, do you know much about him, or have you just studied footage, or is that something that you don't do? You hear a lot of fighters nowadays saying they prepare themselves more so than prepare for the opponent. Is that something you do, or do you watch footage, see if you see something, or do you just basically put your game plan on the fight?
Yeah, no, I've said this for years. I coach as well, so I've got my own gym, Saul Rogers Mixed Martial Arts Academy, and I've got my own students, and they get obsessed with watching guys, and I've seen from personal experience as well, from people close to me, they'll get obsessed. This guy's got a big overarm right, or this guy's got a good spinning, and that's all they see. So when they're fighting, that's all they can envision. So it kind of hinders them. It stops them instead of being able to execute their game plan. It kind of panics them, and they're waiting for it. And then before you know it, boom, you're getting clipped with that shot. So I've always said this: is what I say to me, my teammates, to the guys I coach. Anyway, as long as I am the best physically and mentally I can possibly be, doesn't matter what he's going to do. So I don't really watch much tape. I know my coach will watch little bits, and he'll incorporate a few bits into the training. But as opposed to that, I don't really do game plans. I just focus on me being sharp, really, and ready.
So you sort of said it there as well with ACB. You're looking at their goal, either be it featherweight or lightweight. So you're on a 9-fight win streak at the moment. So in some way, you almost have to be walking around with that sense of invincibility. Is that something that you think of? Is it potential? Rob was asking about your opponent. You know, it might be the ideal guy. You're looking for the higher guy. So is that something that could be dangerous? Do you feel, not just for yourself, but obviously other fighters? They might look past, because the fact that you were saying you want the higher level guy, is there a chance there that you could be looking past this guy?
No, do you know what I say to everyone time and time again? It's a fight. It's MMA, and crazy things happen. People get caught all the time, and results don't go the way people think. In my head, even for the winner fight, for this fight, I treat them both the same. Literally, I always treat them as kind of faceless opponents, because I might be training for this Michel Adalena. I can't remember his name, but you know what? Next week he might pull out, and I get another replacement. So I don't look past anybody, not at all. I've got good amateurs at my gym, and sometimes I'll have a spar with them. If I'm not on point, they'll catch me every now and again. Do you know what I mean? And they'll kind of put the pressure on. So it's MMA, anything can happen. But yeah, I'm going out there to perform. I'm going out there to win, but I'm not looking past him by any stretch of the imagination.
And you talked about obviously getting a title shot and looking for titles, but is there any names out there that you're looking at on the European scene? If the UFC doesn't happen or whatever doesn't happen, is there any names there that you're looking at that I want to fight this guy? He's somebody who can do something good for my career, or I just like the way he fights?
Yeah, do you know what? I've not even had time to kind of sit back and have a look. Just the second I got finished with the Andre fight, I was straight in signed to this, and then I'm kind of straight back at it. So I've not really had much time to even chill with the family or anything. I've just been one camp to the other. So maybe after this fight's done, I can kind of have a sit back and have a look who's going to put me close to the title. But like I said previously in the with the previous question, I know my worth. If they put me in for the lightweight title now, or the featherweight fight for the featherweight title, I think no one could argue that I deserve to be there. So I don't really see myself in the position where I have to really think, right, this guy's going to put me here or this guy's going to put me here. I'm just going to kind of beat whoever they put in front of me, and then sooner or later they have to give me what I deserve more than anything. And
do you know if this promotion ABC is coming back to the UK or anywhere else closer in Europe, or would you be willing to go and fight in, say, Russia or the other places that they hold shows in?
Yeah, I think they're planning on doing a good few shows a year now over in the UK. They're trying to build it up over here. Not many people know about it, or didn't know about it anyway, till all this has kind of exploded with this Glasgow card. But But I'm more than willing to travel to Russia. A few of the UK guys, they're not really happy with traveling. They always have this complaint, I don't like this or this. But I go out there to finish fights anyway, so I'm not really going to cry about anything that the UK guys kind of say. They say, oh, I don't want to go out in Russia, don't get treated fairly, blah, 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 this and that. But for me, I'm going out there to finish a fight, so it doesn't really matter how I'm getting treated because the result's still going to be the same.
Just in regards as well there, so with obviously being in the tough house as well is a crazy environment for fighters as well, because you've seen both sides of the water in that sense. What's your opinion on European MMA now that you've seen the Americans? Like years ago there was a huge void between the European fighter and the American fighter. They basically constantly said with Europeans, no wrestling, their ground game's not good, and you can see a big difference in that now as well. So as you as one of the hottest prospects coming out of Europe, like what is your opinion on the state of European MMA at the minute?
Do you know what? I was a little unsure, not only with the Europeans, but like myself before I went into tough, because I've never faced an American before. You only hear like when I first started out, it was like, right, America's here and we're kind of here and all this other kind of stuff. And then my fight to get in the house as well, all the nerves and adrenaline on the day. As soon as the bell gone, it's like a blur. I couldn't tell you anything what happened in that fight, literally. And halfway through, I'm like, I can't breathe, and I was just running on, I don't know, adrenaline or heart or determination or whatever. And I finished the choke, but I was dug deep in that fight, and I mean, I weren't in trouble really at any point in the fight. I kind of dominated the guy, but it was not me as a performance. So as we was, I remember this, as we was, we all fought. The ones who won stayed, the ones who didn't went home. And we was driving on the coach going back to the house, and I was like, fucking hell, that was a bad performance. I was thinking, I'm not at the level of these guys, blah, 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 this and that. And I was kind of getting in my own head. And then the second I kind of got to training with the boys and all that other stuff, and I was relaxed, and how I know I can perform, I was like, nah, I got this. This is me. And then as soon as they started to match me up with the Americans and all that other kind of stuff, and I thought how I know I can perform, not the nerves of being sat in front of Conor and Dana and blah blah blah, then I knew I could dominate the guys, and that's all I was doing. My mind was up here all the time when I was seeing guys breaking, and I just kept that going day by day by day, and I wasn't really bothered who they put me against. I think if you were the guys were fearing Ryan Hall and all that other kind of stuff, but I don't know if they showed it on the show, but I went in there, I was like, give me him. I knew that style for me was kind of perfect, so I wasn't bothered who they put me up against. So that's given me the confidence now, and yeah, it's given me a bit of a boost actually.
And do you think that like the tough experience, because let's be honest, it is crazy, like all you guys literally locked in a house with another, do you think that's made you mentally stronger as well in your game? Like,
yeah, massively. Honestly, I think tough has been the best thing for my career. And I'd advise any guys, even the ones who are kind of a little bit unsure, because being in an environment, living with your opponent and making weight, like the first time I made weight, I cut maybe a pound. Second time it was like 2 kilos. Third time it's like 4 kilos. Fourth time it's like 6 kilos. And I know I was maybe 6 kilos over the night before, and I know I can just make the weight. You're not unsure, you don't know who you're going to fight, so then the next day, all right, you're going to fight him and you're going to fight him tomorrow, and you've got to deal with that. So now it's like I don't have to get obsessed with a camp if I have a bad day of training or I don't feel too good. I train a lot smarter than I did in the past, because when I was in tough, I was looking after my body, I was making sure I was fresh, and I always performed on the day. So now I know if I'm not feeling too good, I won't go in, or I'll look after my body, or I'm not too fussed about the opponent I get given now. So I think it's been massive for me, mentally, physically, emotionally, any other way.
So bringing it back to Saturday night, I don't know if you're a man who likes to give the prediction. Yeah, you may have shared the match with him, Mystic Mac. So let's call it Mystic Saul. So what's happening on Saturday night?
You know what? I'm going to give me a prediction, but I'm not looking past anybody in any way. Me and my team, we're prepared for a 3-round fight. But in my head, I'm looking at going out there, putting pressure on him straight away. And I think I'll either get the TKO or submission and finish first round.
Nice. Very nice. Well, listen, man, thanks for taking the time, especially with it being fight week, coming in and having a chat with us. We had to make you rush your dinner there as well just before the call started.
Still got a bit left now.
So listen, best of skill, and I look forward to watching the fight.
Yes, mate. Thanks for having me on. ACB Glasgow. I'll be there. Watch.
Good man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Thanks, Saul.
See you later. Bye.